There's an idea that's ruining your life, not in a dramatic way, but slowly and silently. It's crushing your productivity, holding back your confidence, killing your momentum, making everything harder than it needs to be, and stopping you from ever starting the things you actually want to do. And that idea is called perfectionism. Perfectionism is tricky because it comes with two sides. Most just see the first side, which looks like ambition, high standards, or wanting to do things well. All of those things can push you to improve your skills and make you better, which is great. But there's another side to perfectionism, a darker side that sneaks up on you. It comes in a form of a little voice in your head that whispers, "Don't start until you're ready. Don't publish until it's flawless. Don't share this, people will judge you. Don't try yet, you might mess up." Suddenly, perfectionism isn't helping you anymore, it's the very thing that's holding you back. Now, make no mistake, both sides come with good intentions. That's why the second side often goes unnoticed. The same reason that's pushing you to improve is also the one that's holding you back, because it's trying to protect you from embarrassment or failure. But it becomes a problem when you want to do things quote-unquote just right all the time. Instead of uploading your first video or writing the first chapter or taking the first step, it makes you hesitate, creates self-doubt, and eventually it convinces you to do nothing at all. You're afraid to start because you don't meet your own standards quite yet. So, on one side, perfectionism pushes you forward because it helps you improve and refine your skills. But the other stops you entirely. And unfortunately, this side is usually much stronger. Most people think you either are or aren't a perfectionist, but it's really a spectrum. Everyone falls somewhere on it. Maybe you're all the way at the extreme, frozen by microscopic flaws, or maybe you're somewhere in the middle, held back just enough to feel stuck. But over the past decade, something interesting has happened. The entire spectrum seems to have shifted toward the perfectionist side. And honestly, it makes total sense. On social media, everything looks incredible. Every photo is filtered, every caption has a lot of thought behind it, and every video is edited just right. We see people's best moments and then we compare those polished highlights to our very real, very messy behind the scenes. And it's impossible to compete with that. On top of it, schools teach us from a young age that the value of our work is tied to how close to perfect it is. Mistakes aren't treated as learning, they are seen as failure. So of course we carry that pressure into adulthood. And that is why we've shifted towards perfectionism. It's why it's slowly becoming our default mode. But here's a brutally simple truth. Imperfect action will always beat perfect inaction. Let me repeat that. Imperfect action will always beat perfect inaction. Every single time. Think about two beginners learning to make videos. One makes 10 messy videos. The other tries to perfect one single video, but never uploads it. Who improves faster? Who learns more about editing, talking, lighting, pacing, and problem solving? The one who tries, not the one who thinks about trying. Your skill doesn't come from overthinking, it comes from doing, from failing, from adjusting, from repeating. That is why the imperfect creator improves 10 times faster, because they're willing to stumble through the messy, awkward, and imperfect videos. Meanwhile, the other beginner spends all the time obsessing over a single idea, and they still never finish it. Now, this isn't just some anecdote. One photography professor actually tested this. What he did was he split his class into two groups. The first group was graded purely on quantity. The more photos they took, the better their grade at the end of the year. The second group was graded only on the quality of a single photo. So they had to make that photo as perfect as possible for a good grade. At the end of the semester, when all the photos were examined, it turned out all the best photos, the genuinely excellent ones, came from the quantity group, not the quality group. Why? Because they were out there taking countless pictures. They were experimenting, messing up, adjusting, and learning through repetition. They shot dozens of angles, tried weird lighting, even ruined a few shots. Meanwhile, the quality group sat around theorizing, planning, thinking, trying to imagine perfection without ever practicing enough to reach it. They produced ideas, not results. And if there's anything you take from this video, it's this. You can't think your way into improvement. You only get better through repetition. Thinking prepares you, but only doing improves you. Now, the reason why we like to overthink and get stuck in the process is because our brain is a problem-solving machine. When something feels uncertain, our mind tries to solve it ahead of time. That's why planning and analyzing can feel incredibly productive. But most of the time, we're fixing details that don't matter yet, tiny things that don't deserve the attention they're getting. So while we convince ourselves we're preparing, we're really just procrastinating most of the time. And our quote-unquote ideas never see the light of day. The only way to break out of this trap is to force the ideas outside of your head into the real world. Messy, unpolished, imperfect. Only then can they evolve into something real. And you'll soon realize that preoccupying yourself with the little details is currently irrelevant. This brings us to one of the simplest and most helpful rules you can use, the 77% rule. If you ask yourself, can I make this perfect? The honest answer for anyone, including for me, will always be no. But if you ask, can I make this 77% as good as I want it to be? The answer is almost always yes. This tiny mindset shift lowers the pressure just enough to help you start and make your ideas real. It gets you moving, it gives you permission to make mistakes, and most importantly, it allows you to be imperfect. The number doesn't have to be 77, by the way. I just made it up for myself. For you, maybe it's 60, maybe it's 82. The right number is simply the one that helps you start and finish without getting stuck overthinking everything. So whenever you begin something, be it writing, cleaning, brainstorming, starting a new hobby, give yourself permission to do it fast, do it bad, and do it wrong, deliberately. Because the moment your only goal is to start, perfectionism and overthinking lose most of their power. So make the first draft terrible, make the idea sloppy, make the attempt embarrassing if you have to, but just get moving. Your goal is to reach 77%, not 100%. You can easily fix everything later, and that's when perfectionism becomes useful. The editing stage is where high standards shine, not the creation or the beginning stage. Before that point, it's just slowing you down. After all, you can't perfect something that doesn't even exist yet. Once you hit that 77%, you can polish it further if you want. Up to 85, maybe even 90%. But know when to stop, because chasing the final few percentage points triggers the law of diminishing returns. You end up wasting hours for microscopic improvements that barely anyone notices. Often to get the last few percentage points, it takes the same amount of time that it took you to get to the first 77%. That's why you have to become comfortable with good enough. So if it meets your 77% standard, release it, share it, move on. And whenever you feel that pressure coming back, that little voice saying this isn't good enough, just ask yourself, is it at least 77% good? If the answer is yes, then guess what? It's perfect. It might sound stupid, but over time it rewires your brain. It replaces the old perfectionist habits with healthier ones that actually allow you to grow. Perfectionism can be a gift when it pushes you to refine your skills. But it becomes a curse the moment it stops you from doing any work at all. By embracing imperfect action, by allowing yourself to start messy and improve later, you open the door to creativity, to progress, and simply to a much more enjoyable life. Remember, you don't grow by avoiding mistakes. You grow by collecting them, learning from them, adjusting, and trying again. Unfortunately, perfectionism makes you fear failure, but growth requires you to use failure. So the next time you feel stuck, apply the 77% rule. Start fast, bad, and wrong. Learn from your mistakes and refine later. Because remember, imperfect action will always, and I mean always, beat perfect inaction. Every single time. Thanks for watching.